Asterisk. The morning sun cast long shadows across Samuel's ranch as he rode out to check the eastern pasture. The air was crisp and still, carrying the scent of dry grass and distant mountains. He had lived alone on this land for 15 years now, ever since Martha passed, and the silence had become his companion. Asterisk. But today, the silence was broken. Asterisk. As Samuel crested the small hill overlooking his lower field, he pulled his horse to a sudden stop. For women knelt in the dirt near the old oak tree, their hands working frantically at the earth. Even from a distance, he could see they were all heavy with child, their movements slow and careful despite their urgent digging. Asterisk. Samuel dismounted and approached slowly, not wanting to startle them. "Ma'am," he called out gently when he was close enough, "are you ladies all right?" Asterisk. The women looked up with eyes that seemed distant and confused. The one with dark hair spoke first, her voice barely above a whisper. We need to dig here. Something important is buried here." Asterisk. "I'm Samuel Morrison," he said, removing his hat. "This is my land. Who are you? How did you get here?" Asterisk. The four women exchanged glances that spoke of shared uncertainty. The blonde woman in the blue dress pressed a hand to her swollen belly. "I'm Sarah. This is Alina, Mary, and Rosa. We can't remember how we got here. We just know we had to come to this place." Asterisk. Samuel's weathered face creased with concern. These women looked exhausted, their simple dresses dusty from travel. Their eyes held a strange emptiness, as if important pieces of themselves were missing. Asterisk. "When did you last eat?" he asked. Asterisk. They looked at each other again, that same confused expression passing between them. We can't remember," Elena said, her voice trembling. Asterisk. Samuel made a decision that came from the deepest part of his heart. "Come up to the house. You need food and rest. Whatever you're looking for can wait." Asterisk. But Sarah shook her head urgently. "No, we have to dig here first. Father Gabriel told us something very important was buried under this tree. He said we would remember everything once we found it." Asterisk. The name Father Gabriel sent a chill through Samuel. He'd heard whispers in town about a preacher who ran a mission for unwed mothers, but the stories were always vague and troubling. Asterisk. "All right," Samuel said quietly. "Then let me help you." Asterisk. He fetched shovels from his barn and returned to find the women still clawing at the earth with their bare hands. As he began to dig alongside them, he listened to their fragmented memories. Asterisk. "Father Gabriel said we were blessed," Mary whispered, her red curls damp with perspiration. "He said our purpose was to bring children into the world for God's will." Asterisk. "He gave us special tea every day," Rosa added, her dark eyes distant. "It made us feel peaceful, made the worry go away." Asterisk. Samuel's jaw tightened as he dug deeper. The picture was becoming clearer with each shovelful of dirt. "How long were you at the mission?" Asterisk. "Time felt strange there," Sarah said. "Like days blended together. But I think, months, maybe longer." Asterisk. As the sun climbed higher, Samuel's shovel struck something solid. The women gathered around as he carefully unearthed a wooden box, its metal hinges rusted but intact. Asterisk. With trembling hands, Sarah opened the lid. Inside were stacks of papers and documents. Alina lifted out a deed with her own name on it. This is my family's land deed." "But how?" Asterisk. Mary found her own papers next, then Rosa hers. Property deeds, bank documents, wills, all bearing their names or their families' names. Asterisk. I remember now, Sarah said, tears streaming down her face. My husband died in a mining accident. I inherited his claim. Father Gabriel said he would help me manage it, that I just needed to sign some papers. Asterisk. He took everything, Alina whispered, staring at documents that showed her family's farm had been sold. He convinced me I was too young to handle my father's estate alone. Asterisk. At the bottom of the box, Samuel found something that made his blood run cold. A ledger book filled with names, dates, and amounts of money. Payments received for adoptions. Below each woman's name was written a date and the words delivered or departed. Asterisk. Rosa's hands shook as she pointed to entries near the bottom. These women, ... I remember some of them from the mission. Where are they now? Asterisk. Samuel's voice was heavy with sorrow. I think they're gone, Rosa. I think once they served his purpose. Asterisk. The terrible truth settled over them like a dark cloud. Father Gabriel had been drugging vulnerable women, stealing their property, and selling their babies. Those who might have caused trouble later simply disappeared. Asterisk. The tea, Mary said suddenly. It's wearing off. I can remember more now. There are others still at the mission? Pregnant women who don't know what's happening to them. Asterisk. Samuel stood, his decision clear. We're going to town. Sheriff Williams needs to see these documents. Asterisk. But Sarah grabbed his arm. What if no one believes us? What if Father Gabriel has already moved on? Asterisk. Samuel looked at each of these brave women, seeing the strength that was returning to their eyes as the drugs left their systems. Then we'll make them believe. You four are living proof of what he's done. Asterisk. The ride to town was quiet, each woman lost in recovered memories, both precious and painful. Samuel thought about his own loneliness, how it had made him hungry for any kind of human connection. He understood how these women had been targeted in their most vulnerable moments. Asterisk. Sheriff Williams listened to their story with growing anger. The documents were damning evidence of fraud and worse. Within hours, a posse was riding toward the mission. Asterisk. They found it abandoned. But they also found 3 more pregnant women, confused and frightened, clutching cups of the blessed tea they'd been told to drink. Asterisk. That evening, as Samuel prepared beds for all 7 women in his large, empty house, Sarah approached him on the porch. Asterisk. Why did you help us? She asked. You don't even know us. Asterisk. Samuel looked out over his land, thinking of all the years he'd spent alone with his grief. I reckon we all get lost sometimes, he said. The difference is whether there's someone willing to help us find our way back. Asterisk. In the days that followed, the women slowly reclaimed their lives and their memories. Some had families to return to. Others, like Sarah and Alina, decided to stay and help Samuel work the ranch that had become a refuge. Asterisk. The babies, when they came, were born into love and truth instead of lies and exploitation. And Samuel, who had forgotten what it felt like to have a family, discovered that sometimes the people who need saving the most are the ones who end up doing the saving. Asterisk. Under the old oak tree where the truth had been buried, they planted a garden. It grew strong and wild and free, just like the women who tended it.